I want to see how quickly I can get through the regulations overdraft protection program within the credit tab of the CRCM prep materials, page 278. One guidance over overdraft protection programs, overdraft payment programs, and consumer protection. In the late 1990s, financial institutions began offering universal overdraft protection programs to consumer depositors. While these programs were very profitable to the institutions, federal agencies had concerns about the amount of charge-off accounts and the fact that in some cases the programs appeared to encourage consumers to overdraw their accounts. In 2005, the federal banking agencies issued a joint guidance on overdraft protection programs that addressed safety and soundness as well as legal concerns associated with overdraft protection programs. While this guidance has not been withdrawn, the Federal Reserve issued rules to govern advertising and disclosure of overdraft fees in Reg DB in 2006 and restrictions on charging overdraft fees on ATM transactions and one-time debit card transactions in 2009 to become effective in 2010. As a result of the 2008 study on overdraft protection programs, the FDIC issued a guidance document in 2010, FIL 2010-47, that invited comments on the supervisory expectations of state non-member banks. Regulation of overdraft protection was transferred to the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau in 2011. How? Regulation of overdraft protection was transferred to them. You mean like when Reg E and Reg DD were? Okay. Joint guidance on overdraft protection programs. Coverage. Automated overdraft programs applied to consumer accounts does not apply to traditional treatment of overdrafts on an ad hoc basis. Features of automatic overdraft protection programs may include informing the consumer of the program, promoting the program by the financial institution, informing the customer of the amount of protection available, providing automatic coverage for qualified customers, paying overdrafts up to the aggregate limit set by the bank, paying overdraft at the bank's discretion, extending service to electronic transactions including automated teller machines, automated clearinghouses, debit card transactions, and telephone and internet transfers, charging fees such as a flat fee when a service is triggered and a daily fee, and offering closed-end loans to consumers who do not bring their balances current after a period of time. Regulatory concerns. Marketing these programs as short-term lines of credit may lead consumers to use them like credit. Marketing may encourage consumers to overdraw their accounts. Marketing may lead consumers to believe overdrafts will always be paid even if the institution reserves the right not to pay them. Marketing of overdraft protection programs tied to free accounts may lead consumers to believe that there are no fees associated with overdraft. Institutions may not clearly disclose when overdraft protection is triggered, and institutions may not alert consumers when a withdrawal will trigger an overdraft. For example, a consumer who is making a withdrawal at an ATM may not be alerted that the institution would trigger an overdraft. Safety and soundness considerations. Overdraft programs may expose the institution to more credit risk because usually no underwriting is performed. What? Really? I guess that means underwriting is required. Policies and procedures should be written and adopted to address credit, operation, and other risks associated with overdraft protection programs. Risk management practices should be adopted for the initial granting of overdraft protection, account repayment terms, and suspension of overdraft privileges. Accounts should be monitored on an ongoing basis, and these are all safety and soundness considerations. I'm on E. Overdraft protection amounts should be adjusted periodically based on monitoring to ensure that the credit risk is managed. F. Management reports should be regularly available to allow management to identify, measure, and manage overdraft volume, profitability, and credit performance. Overdraft should be charged off when considered uncollectible, but no later than 60 days after the overdraft fee occurred. Payment received after 60 days should be reported as recovery. H. If the institution makes the consumer a loan to repay the overdraft, the Federal Financial Institution Examination Council Uniform Retail Credit Classification and Account Management Policy would apply. I hope that's covered in here. Financial institutions must follow generally accepted accounting principles and call report instructions as each applies to overdraft. And that's relatively not like brand new, but there's some new call reporting like figures that we need to report as far as expenses. Report expenses on call. Overdraft losses should be charged off against allowances for loan and lease losses. All institutions should adopt rigorous loss estimation processes to ensure that overdraft fee income is accurately measured. The procedure for estimating an adequate allowance should be documented. If a financial institution advises customers of the amount of overdraft protection available to them, such amounts should be reported on all regulatory reports as unused commitments. Overdraft balances should require risk-based capital rules. Overdraft balances should be risk-weighted according to the obligor. And if the overdraft protection can be canceled by the institution at any time, they should be assigned a 0% credit conversion factor. If institutions use third-party vendors for overdraft protection purposes, they must conduct due diligence on such vendors. Legal risk overdraft protection programs must comply with all applicable laws and regulations. Institutions must comply with state usury and deceptive practices statutes. FTC advertising rules require the overdraft protection advertising not be deceptive. Further legal risks. D. The TILA requirements apply if the institution makes a loan to a consumer to repay an overdraft. E. ECOA anti-discrimination rules apply for overdraft protection programs. ECOA adverse action notice requirements do not apply unless TILA applies. F. The TIFA applies to overdraft protection programs. Fees must be disclosed. In some cases, the change in terms and notice will be required. TIFA advertising will also apply. And the EFTA applies if electronic transactions can trigger the overdraft protection, the periodic statement rules, and termination receipts must be in compliance. Now we're in best practices. Subpart 5, best practices are not considered to be mandatory requirements unless state law requires such practices. You have A, which is marketing customer communication, and there's 10 considerations there. And then B is program features, which are 7 points there. We're going to get through this. Marketing consumer communication. 1. Do not promote poor account management by marketing programs in a way that encourages overdrafts. 2. Fairly represent the program and inform consumer about the credit alternatives that are available. 3. Train the institution staff to explain the program and its features, costs, and terms, as well as how to opt out of the program. 4. Explain to customers that the program is discretionary. 5. In promotions and other communications, clearly distinguish the overdraft program from free accounts. 6. Disclose the cost of the overdraft program and marketing materials. Do not just state that the institution's regular fee will apply. Rather, use the actual dollar amount. 7. Make clear to the consumer that the overdraft fee also counts against his or her overdraft limit. 8. Give an example of how the program works when multiple items are returned and overdraft fees are charged on each one. 9. Explain to the consumer that transactions may not be processed in the order that they occurred and that the order of processing can affect the total amount of fees charged. 10. Give an illustration of the types of transactions to which an overdraft fee may apply. Program features. Allow consumers to opt out of the program and give them a notice of this fact. 2. Give customers a notice of which transaction is about to trigger an overdraft fee. If such a notice is not feasible at ATMs, post a notice on proprietary ATMs and inform consumers that withdrawals may create overdrafts. 3. Prominently distinguish between the actual balance in the account and the overdraft protection available, and such a distinction is not possible. Do not show the amount of the overdraft protection in the account balance. Promptly notify consumers of overdraft protection each time it is used. Notices should be sent the day the overdraft protection is assessed. Consider imposing immediately capping the cumulative fees that are charged to the consumer. Monitor overdraft program usage and inform consumers when necessary of available options. And 7. Do not send negative reports of consumers who use an overdraft protection program that has not been promoted by the institution. Overdraft payment programs and consumer protection. This is SIL 2010-47, as we explained before in the intro probably. The coverage is state non-member banks, including my bank. and automated overdraft programs are covered. Ad hoc overdraft programs are not covered by the guidance. However, the FDIC expects state non-member banks will ensure that such programs conform to all consumer protection laws and regulations seen by that in Reg DB and Reg B. Regulatory expectations, subpart 2, and this is of the FDIC. Board and management oversight of overdraft protection program is expected. B, annual review of the overdraft program is expected. C, review marketing and disclosure materials to minimize consumer confusion and promote responsible use. D, review implementation of the program to ensure that it minimizes customer confusion and promotes responsible use. D, train staff to explain program procedures. F, prominently distinguish account balances from available overdraft coverage account amounts. G, monitor the program for excessive use, and if a consumer overuses the program more than 6 times in a rolling 12-month time period, take follow-up action including 1. Contact the customer to discuss less costly alternatives such as linked savings account or consumer loan. 2. Giving the customer a reasonable opportunity to decide whether to continue the program or pursue a less costly alternative. 3. Institute appropriate daily limits on the number of transactions subject to a fee or a daily limit on the total fee charged. 4. Consider providing information to consumers at free or low-cost financial information workshops. 5. Review check plan procedures to ensure that they operate in a manner that avoids maximizing customer overdraft fees. 6. Monitor and mitigate risks associated with automated overdraft programs, including legal, reputational, credit, safety, and soundness, etc. And 7. Allow customers to opt out of the payment of overdraft that originate from non-electronic items such as checks and ACH transfers. So that concludes that.